So my undying love was sparked off back in 2013 after my ex-husband had a brain hemorrhage and ended up in hospital in a coma for 2 weeks. So I sat with him by his side, held his hand every day while he was in that coma. A couple of months after, I had a laboratory sharing, a live art sharing, and I decided that I would kind of create a work that would kind of recreate the experience of what it's like to visit somebody that you love in an ICU room when they are unconscious. So that was the initial inspiration. And then more recently, my mother became very unwell. She had basically a terminal illness, and that kind of kicked off the spark of this piece again with this curiosity about love and loved ones, and basically about death and loss, and finding kind of different ways to address these topics with audience and with each other, and ways to kind of like tackle the taboos of talking about death and talking about grief, because I feel that it's something that's not talked about. Yeah, so that's kind of what kick-started and inspired the whole thing. We first started off with filming and working with all the video production, which was quite long and intense, and that kind of moved on into the installation design, which then moved on into working with a composer and doing all the sound design, which moved on into, after the construction of the installation, combining sound and audioscape, and then the final kind of part was bringing the participatory performative elements into the space. So it's been very kind of complex. Simultaneous to this, I conducted interviews with my mum before she passed, asking her about questions about her coming death, about the death of her mother, about her thoughts on death and what she would like and after, and just like generally pondering around the topic. And those interviews have, the results of those interviews have made their way into the work. So it's been quite an intense journey, but also a really beautiful journey. Yeah. An openness for empathy, an openness to kind of be with the emotions of the idea of loss, kind of opening for sharing grief, or even if you haven't experienced grief, to ponder around that. I mean, death will come to all of us at some point, and to our loved ones, and it's kind of like, I want to kind of create that space where we can talk and be present with this kind of awkward theme.